What's up, Windwalkers? Today, I wanted to try something a little bit different. As I'm now pretty much max eye level, I wanted to see how much damage I could do as a Windwalker in optimum conditions in each of this season's mythic dungeons. Starting off with the Dawnbreaker, I'm pulling out all the stops and playing as damage oriented as possible. Don't try this at home. So, without further ado, let's see how much damage Windwalker can actually do. Welcome to the Dawnbreaker. So, why are we doing a 10? The main reason we're doing a 10 is I want to see what sort of damage a Windwalker Monk can actually output in the perfect conditions.
Jump 3 times.
So the goal here is to just do as much damage as possible and see how much we can actually do on Windwalker. A lot of the times I post videos and the damage is not actually that high. There's a lot of factors that go into how high a damage you're going to actually do in a dungeon. Predominantly, it can be to do with clear times, what sort of ad pack you're doing. In higher keys, deaths can be extremely impactful on damage overall. So I think a 10 is a good kind of point to see how much damage a Windwalker Monk can actually do at max item level gear, which I am pretty much 1 item level off, but a lot of it's crafted, so I'm probably going to stay at 638 for the rest of the expansion, the rest of the tier. So hopefully we go for the big pull here, and once we do, I'm going to pop Storm, Earth and Fire, and we are just going to go ham. We are lusting here as well. I'm not too bothered on lust myself as a Windwalker. I like to basically pop everything on pull at the start of the dungeon, and then I'll have it up to the first boat that we board, and then I'll secondly have it up for the boss itself. So far, so good. We do have a priest, so you can just be aware of that if you're wondering about damage or anything impacting it. But we've also got a warrior and a shaman. So the idea is basically to have as many things that can buff me as possible to see how much damage we can actually get out of Windwalker. Where are we going then, son? We are going over this side. Because we cleared that so fast, we are not going to have all our cooldowns. Not the end of the world. That's fine. We'll just use them on the next ship over, and we still will have them up for the first boss. However, we'll only be able to use it once on that boss rather than the usual 2, which I could usually do at high level keys. So, because it's a 10, defensive management's still important, but to be honest, things just do not hit as hard as they would do on a 12 or a 13 or something like that. Like, the damage disparity is so different that you can actually be a little bit more greedy on these keys and put a lot more focus into damage rather than into... What the hell? Who gave me my flying license? A little bit late to the party. That's alright.
Jump 3 times.
Jump 3 times. You love to hear it. Abyssal Howl going out. I did not interrupt that because that is not my problem. This is not really a guide per se on how to do the dungeon. This is more me seeing how much damage I can get out of Windwalker Monk. So there's a lot of things that I might do here that I would probably advise against if you're just trying to do this in time, trying to get a good score, whatever. We'll interrupt, but if I'm channeling a Fist of Fury or something, you can absolutely forget it. Unless it's going to one-shot me, in which case, yeah, okay. I will interrupt that. So, back onto the main boat, and we're about to do the boss. So we will have our cooldowns up probably for the second phase. I'm probably not going to pop them during the first phase, because I imagine what's going to happen is we will get pretty far into the fight. My cooldowns will come up, and then it's going to transition, and we do not want to be using our cooldowns just before that midway through the fight transition. Otherwise, we're just losing so much DPS. To be honest, this boss is going down so quickly. I'm going to use Touch of Karma there because I do take damage over time, and it just reflects it back for additional damage. From the looks of it, we might not even use all of our cooldowns on this boss. It might make more sense to hold them for the next pack. Otherwise, we aren't going to have them for the next big pack. So I might actually hold cooldowns here and just play it for optimum damage on a pack. I've said the word pack about 5 times in a row now. Alright, back on the boss, 20 seconds on Zuin, so I don't think we are going to use our cooldowns here. Storm, Earth and Fire will not reach its double stack cap, so we don't have to worry too much about that. And I think it might just be a waste to use my cooldowns here. I've made the executive decision to just nuke the boss with standard. Oh! I turned my brain off there for a second and almost got obliterated. I think that would one-shot me. I'm not sure on a 10. I might have like one tick where I survive it. So normally, if this was any other sort of dungeon where I wasn't trying to like theory craft how much damage you can get on this dungeon as a Windwalker, I probably would have used my cooldowns there. But I think I'm going to get a lot more value out of it by using them on the next big pull. I'm in a little bit of a sticky situation here. I don't want to walk into that, so we are just going to have to play this a bit safer, just due to the positioning of the boss. Not too sure what's going on with the positioning of the boss here. Fun fact as well with the Dawnbreaker, when the boss does its purple big circle, you can actually stand in it. It does not hurt you until it does the pop, if you didn't know that. And you only need to collect one orb here, you don't have to fly around like a madman. So, heal up a little bit, so there's a little bit of downtime, and then we are going to pop everything on this small ad pack. We got jump 3 times, we love that. Ads coming up. And we are doing a bigger pull. You love to see it. So I'm going to say that it was worthwhile holding my cooldowns. Oh, don't know why I'm going there. I may have pressed the wrong button. Don't you love it when spinning crane kick procs? Nothing gets me going like a spinning crane kick proc. I just know huge damages to follow. So we are going to have to decide on another point to use Storm, Earth and Fire. I probably will use it on this mini-boss, as mini-bosses last quite a bit of time, and it makes sense to just use them on it whilst... Otherwise I'm just going to hit 2 stacks, and then what's the point of that, really? I don't really know where we're taking this mini-boss, to be honest. I guess we're just taking it outside, you know? It usually gets fought inside, but this tanky's like, nah, you know? Let it see some light. This guy's never been out here. Let it see some daylight, you know? It's been trapped inside of that church for the last, like, 3 months. It's probably never been pulled out here unless you're absolutely wiping the key. And that's fair, you know? Let's give it some daylight. Let it see the outside. I don't really know what I'm talking about right now. Alright, so we are going to then pull some packs inside of this church, I imagine. That's pretty standard. And we will have our big cooldowns up for that. Basically, what we want to be doing, if we're trying to optimize as much DPS as possible on this key, is to make sure that we're using all of our big cooldowns on ad packs. So it looks like we're doing another outside pack. Looks like it's a group of 6, which is good. Like, oh, no, group of 3. Nope, group of 6. Don't get baited. Wait for that black edge to come out.
Collect or stand in circle.
We got an Orbi standing, and it all lines up perfectly. Pop a defensive so that I can stand and stuff if need be. Pop 2 defensives, you know, who cares? And now I get a little bit of leeway on what I can stand in and what I can't stand in, so I can just focus on outputting damage. We'll leg sweep here because we are not that tight. Woohoo! Feels good to be a gangster. So, we aren't going to have all our cooldowns up for the mini-bosses, but I don't really want them all up for the mini-bosses in this situation. For the mini-bosses, you maybe just want 1 Storm, Earth and Fire, but popping Zune and everything is going to be a damage loss. Here we go. So, if you're targeted by anything here, any of the casts, any of the magic, pop a defensive. I currently have no defensives up, so I was a little bit greedy on that last pull, but I should have them up if I'm targeted by Abyssal Blast now that they've come off cooldown. But especially if you're doing a high level key or you're a bit lower item level than I am, you definitely want to be defensiving every Abyssal Blast. It absolutely chunks. So Shadow Decay is an AoE one, so I like to touch Karma that as well, because it means I just reflect the damage back. And there we are. See, now I've been targeted by this and I have no defensives. Because of that, I'm going to just keep an eye on my health pot. And if I really need to, I will health pot myself back up to full health. But this healer seems to have us covered. He's a good boy. Alright, cooldowns are coming back up. and they're going to line up pretty nicely, I think, with this mini-boss. Now, the reason it's not too bad with this mini-boss is because there's an ad pack as well. I do imagine we're pulling it all. I would be surprised if we don't. Yeah, and there it is. We are pulling it all. You just want to be careful here. You want to make sure that
Jump 3 times.
if you're the one targeted by the massive orb, you do not run it through the whole group. So I've been hit by a dot or something. I don't know what. So we're just going to pop a defensive there. I've been targeted by Abyssal Blast as well. So this is going to be a health pot angle if this hits me as hard as I think it will. Oh, it's not too bad, actually. Plus 10s are very relaxing when you're high item level. Not much hurts you. If you're a lower item level, like I'm leveling a Brewmaster at the moment, and my god, everything hits like an absolute truck. But when you're fully geared, these dungeons are a lot more relaxing. So we have popped everything there, so we're a little low on cooldowns here. I will Storm, Earth and Fire again here, just because we're doing a bit of a bigger pull. And I will leg sweep just to help everybody out. But now that I've leg sweep, that's my duty done. I'm getting absolutely zapped by this guy over in the corner, but it doesn't hurt enough for me to care, so I'm not going to care. It's actually crazy how little damage I take anymore. So 2.25 billion, 2.25 million for a Dawnbreaker is pretty damn high for any class, to be honest, at this stage. The biggest time you lose damage on this key is during the last boss fight, so I expect it to fall pretty rapidly once we get there. But otherwise, yeah, pretty high overall. Maybe pop a health potion here. DPS did die, not great. Means this pack's going to last a little bit longer, but I have got defenses up. I shouldn't die. And we're going to have all cooldowns up to the boss, which is when we are going to use them. Because although this boss does spawn ads, it makes sense to use my big cooldowns as soon as possible, so then when we fly back up to the ship, they're back up for when there are a lot of ads.
Jump 3 times.
I've had jump 3 times pretty much every time so far. Am I going to hit this web victim? I'm going to cleave off this web victim for extra damage. I am playing on the wrong side right now. You do not want to play on tank side. Luckily, he's a Gigachad tank, and he moved out the way. Usually, you're the one that has to move out the way for that. The ads are going to spawn soon, and usually pop a defensive for all this AoE damage, but I didn't really feel it, so I didn't need to. Ads are spawning on me, so the goal is leg sweep them early, and then try and get them all in Fist of Fury, so move back a step. Dark Orb's coming in, move out the way. You still do want to play this fight with a little bit of a brain. Oh, roar again, but he can't move out, so we're going to move out ourselves there. Pop a defensive here just to be safe. When else am I going to use it, really? Ads are coming in again, and I got a Dark Orb on me. I don't like the Dark Orb. You don't want the dot on you, so you move back. Don't let the orb hit you, and then go back in. I am. No, I'm not. I was going to use my cooldowns here, but as you can see, the boss is literally dead. It would have been an absolute waste. Restrain yourself. Okay, back up to the ship, and you can see we're going to have a lot of cooldowns up for these ads, which is beautiful to get as much damage as possible out before the last boss, which is where damage falls off a hell of a lot. Hopefully we can get over 2 million for this. That would be ideal. I'm going to hold Storm, Earth and Fire for a sec here, just so I can get up for the ads that are coming up. Come on, you can summon your ads. Don't be scared. And there we go. Ads are up. Zuin as well. And now we just want as much damage as possible. Pop all our defensives just to be safe. We don't want to die here. Playing it very greedy, but I am a greedy boy. Don't know if I killed my teammate there. I probably didn't. Let's say I didn't. Otherwise, that's a pretty bad lesson that we're teaching. Otherwise, kill everything off. Be glad that we weren't targeted with much there, to be honest. And now, we're seeing how much damage we can do on this boss. We are going to Storm Earth and Fire initially, and then we'll have all our big cooldowns up for the second half of the fight. Make sure you pick up the barrels. If you don't pick up the barrels, you're trolling. So really, on this boss, damage, I want to say damage doesn't matter. It does matter to a degree. But, like, at the start here, it's not as important as picking up the barrels. You just need to make sure all the barrels are picked up. So, although I am going for as much damage as possible, it would be trolling if I didn't pick up these barrels and throw them at the boss. Because you want to get to the second phase as fast as possible to make sure that you're not wasting as much time as possible up here. But you can see that even though we're on a boss right now, how much time is actually dropping. Oh, my gosh. Have we missed a barrel? I don't think so. Oh, defensive. Things aren't looking good. More barrels. Throw them at the boss. Pop a defensive because I care for my life. And we just want to get down there as fast as possible, to be honest. So we'll throw another barrel. We did lose a comrade. Unfortunate. I'm surprised we haven't phased yet. Usually you only need 2 barrels to phase, but... yeah. Rasha'nan wants to tank my damage on this key. Come on, Rasha'nan. Play ball, bro. Okay, we got him down. So, you can see how I was on like 2.25 and now it's just dropping so quickly. Because the boat flies around, you just need to get down here as fast as possible. Maybe collect an orb or 2. Oh! Oh! Okay, I'm in the light. We're safe. For this boss, I like to... well, that is not what I like to do. I like to put a clone up front. So then when you roll out for the mechanic, you can just teleport back to it. I don't know why I put it down there. I'm just thinking about DPS. My brain is complete DPS. So you want to put it about here. So when you run out for the mechanic, you put it down, you teleport straight back in. But you can see I'm already on 2 million, how much damage has been lost just because of this downtime. So this is one of the harder dungeons to get high damage on, but still, 1.99 is not bad.
Jump 3 times.
Another jump 3 times. We love jumping 3 times, don't we? You know it's a 33% chance that it'll be that, but it seems to be an 100%. So now it's just a DPS race. So this is the mechanic I was talking about. You want to get it out the group, and then you just put it back in. Don't stand in that. It hurts. We're just going to pop all our cooldowns now whilst we have everything up. Touch of Karma there for a little bit of extra damage on the dot that's out. Eye of the Line. Move to the side. Pop a defensive. And the boss is dead. 1.97 mil. Which is honestly really high. I would have loved 2 million for this dungeon. But 1.97 is really damn high. I think the highest I've had prior to this is maybe a 1.6 or something. Yeah, that's how much damage Windwalker can output. On another dungeon, something like Stone Vault, something like Necrotic Wake, if you have an optimum group that just absolutely speeds through dungeons like this, I did one earlier today, I just didn't record it, but I was doing upwards of 2.3 million overall. You really can do a lot of damage as Windwalker if you play it efficiently. Anyway, if you like the video, give it a like, it helps the channel. Otherwise, I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.